Why? We're back with some professional Starcraft. The base trade TV Star League. Cross-server finals. That means all regions combined. And these are the two players who made it to the end. In the bottom left, the Towel Terran. One of the most wild, most dynamic Terran players. Why is that so loud? Oh my god, calm down every time. That's my greatest enemy. It's from Storm Gaming. Gumiho. And in the top right, the Italian sensation. I'll get there. From Exceed Esports. I'm like 90. I'm gonna make sure that's accurate. Because you don't wanna... Yes, Exceed Esports. 16 years old, but making waves. Taking Cyril to the brink of actually losing a WCS event. But can he take Gumiho even further? Reynor barely didn't qualify for BlizzCon. He had to beat Cyril to qualify, and he got within a game of doing that. And the reason he's not going to BlizzCon otherwise is because he literally turned 16 in the middle of the year. There's a requirement to be 16 years old by the time an event is played for WCS for many reasons I won't get into. But he almost did it on literally the only way he could have done it is win. One game away. But now something nearly as prestigious. So these games are from Base Trade TV, twitch.tv/BaseTradeTV. And if you subscribe, you can get the replay packs, break them down, and get your own content straight from them. I'm very excited to see... Okay, this is all very loud. Like, how? Every time. Am I just going to have... I'm very excited to see this matchup specifically. By the way, I pull first out of Reynor. Because of the types of players these two are. Reynor is an incredibly active, like, a high APM in the sense he's actually doing a lot of different things. Ling run-bys, counter-attacks. He does not want to just go straight up to 72 drones and make roaches. That is definitely not his style. Whereas Gumiho, on the other hand... Okay, this is not a star letter. I need to remove those for the next game. Nobody will know. Just don't look at them. So many things going wrong. But this is perfect here. Gumiho, on the other hand, is a... He's one of the players who would try mech the most, and in the most varieties. He's the pioneer of the battle mech style of, like, Cyclone Hellion instead of just turtling siege tanks. He's even tried mech against Protons before. Some good micro so far, but the Ling's fine in SCV. Will there actually be a cancel? The Reaper distracted on the opposite side of the map. The Marine is doing their best to gun down the Zerglings. Reynor picks up 2, and he delays the command center. So there's not much in the main. He might be able to pick up a return drone. It looks like he will. Reynor a little distracted on the opposite side, not able to get the block. Overall, delaying the CC and picking up. He also forced Gumiho into building an additional Marine. It's very likely Gumiho wanted to get Hellions as quick as possible, and this delayed that. Overall, I'd say that puts him at a slight advantage. But one thing Reynor did cut to get these three hatches up to get the Lings to have a pull first. He cut the Zergling speed. Zergling speed definitely later on. Not that that's a huge deal. It's going to be mech out of Gumiho. Flying the barracks is like a 94% tell that it's going to be mech. I like that Reynor, because he was going pool first, does not put his overlords in a vulnerable location. I'm not 100% that's the thought process, but if you're going to have Zerglings in their base, almost no matter what, why risk your overlords dying right off the bat? Now, Gumiho's found him. That second Marine he was kind of baited into making might be enough with some good micro to gun down the overlord. Reynor going to make sure he has the other one. Zerg players nowadays, because of Vikings and just any general anti-air, they're not putting many overlords on the map, at least early on. 1 or 2, and then you keep the rest close to the chest, looking for drops, things like that. Maybe later on when you have overlord speed or you kill a Viking. What is in there? He actually just brought 2 Marine. Okay, well that's, I guess, faster than them walking. It is a Hellbat push. What does Reynor have to defend? He doesn't even have Zergling speed done. There's no Baneling Nest. Several Queens on the field, though. Queens known for their effectiveness against most early Terran harass. Still no Zergling speed. Now, Hellbats do damage in a cone, so you want to try to get behind them with the Zerglings if possible, in order to draw their fire away, literally and figuratively. It looks like this is just going to be shut down with the medevac being sniped off by the Queens. Reynor very ready. But behind this, Gumiho now knows Reynor is focused on economy. There's not going to be a huge counterattack coming in. There aren't roaches. Unfortunately for Gumiho, there's not a wall. 6 Zerglings getting in, already going for the SCVs. Hellions being sent out across the map where they definitely should not be. A few more Hellions coming up, but 5 SCVs going down. Reynor showing his strength right off the bat. Hellbats coming in the front. A handful of Queens are there to defend, but some drones are open. How many will Gumiho be able to get? 7 SCVs fell on the opposite side. Zerglings being roasted. Tucks himself in behind the minerals, looking for some drones. 2 is the total. Okay, it's still way too loud. I don't know. I don't know. Don't. We're gonna find a happy medium here. Cloak is done. He cloaks right before the creep tumor sees it, but I think Reynor might have gotten a bit of a spot on that. He's already got some spores on the way. It's a little bit late on the cloak. Banshee going to work. And this definitely surprised, like, Cloak Banshees are such a weird unit when it comes to the meta, I guess. Because it almost seems like Terran players make them randomly. Like, sometimes you make a Cloak Banshee, it ends up getting a bunch of kills, forcing out spores, drones pull away. Sometimes you make a Cloak Banshee and it dies to 2 Queens and a Spore Crawler. Like, but it seems Reynor didn't expect that follow-up, probably because he opened up with a medevac. A lot of the time, you don't transition into a tech lab on the starport early on. But Banshee gets 5 kills, gets out, gets a good scout as well. So, despite not really doing as much as he might have liked early on, Gumiho now has 3 bases set up. There's still no since there's no lair tech, there's no real threat besides Zerglings. And with that, Gumiho is confident to take his next base. He has Hellions, he has Banshees. Zerglings shouldn't be doing damage, but he is playing against Reynor, so. And one of the biggest weaknesses of mech is just being picked apart. If you're a little bit out of position, everything falls apart. It's not like Bio where you can have another medevac of Marines or something. If your siege tanks are in the wrong spot, you can just lose the game. And that's why you already see Gumiho. He could have walled off his natural, but now he's just walling off the entire quadrant here. Gonna make sure eventually those Zerglings won't be getting in that angle. Give him some time to react. Reynor has established a 4th base. Is that off? I don't know. I never know. I don't trust myself on these things. Infestation pit already. 1-1. Roach speed. Reynor powering up. I think he's realizing now he just didn't have the tools to really be aggressive. He tried a little bit early on, some counterattacks. Always. Every time. Just sending him out. And the counterattack comes in. The Hellions are already there. There are no upgrades on the links. He's about to have the Carapace. This should be for Swarm Hosts. Now, Swarm Hosts, well, most people, they've kind of come back into use because people have really figured out how to use them against mech. You can make them earlier than you think. The reason why Swarm Hosts didn't seem to be as effective earlier on, why they've only become more popular kind of recently, is because a lot of players were trying to find a timing. Like, maybe I can get a bunch of roaches and pressure your 3rd. But if you skip that aggressive phase of the game and go straight to Swarm Hosts, a lot of mech players just won't have any way to keep them defensive. Offensive Swarm Hosts are amazing. If you're forced to use Swarm Hosts defensively and not get economic damage, not pressure bases, not pull units away, not nearly as good. Banshees coming up. Queens are all the anti-air that Reynor needs. Hellions doing whatever they can. There is a Raven. Anti-armor missile could be a huge part of any of these fights. Just having the detection is important as well. That Raven, very valuable. And a Thor drop. There's The anti-air is limited to queens, and while queens are very good at it, they don't move very quickly. Even on creep, they can't get around back and forth. The Raven is in position. The swarm hosts are on the offensive. The Thor drop should definitely kill a base. Might even be able to get 2 if he's in position for it. There's only a handful of roaches in production. Looks like the queens are coming with this push. The Locust looking for a drop. The Hellbats are already there. How much damage will be done by them? The Hellbat's boxing out for the for the tank, rather. The rest of the Locusts cut off the reinforcements. A single tank is enough to hold, though. And the Thor drop pounding through. Gonna be able to get some of these drones here. Actually, he's going for the Spore Crawl to kick things off. The queens are on the opposite side of the map. They have to come back to defend, but they're going the wrong way. Can you read a map? The Thor's... You don't just kill Thor. Like, they're just pounding through the roaches. So much armor and HP. And he can just pick up and get out. The Corrosive Bow's coming up, but Gumiho is out of there. Oh my god. Thor is one of the most effective things for killing Overlords, but they are quite expensive. Gumiho! Oh! I have no idea. That Thor, like, if he stubs his toe, might fall. I think that was 1 or 2 HP. A round of Locust coming in. They're going to drop kind of in the middle. We'll get 1 tank. Going to be going for SCVs as well. Not going to find too much with the Swarm Host. Gumiho's done a good job of negating it. +2 attack is on the way. He wasn't able to get double upgrades, but Reynor, 68 drones. I say only 4 bases because there's no hive tech. At this phase of the game, if you're on lair tech, you want to have as much larva as possible, but there are only 4 hatches. He is using Swarm Host. He is banking up money, but he really needs to get a 5th and ideally 6th hatch, so that way he doesn't... right now, he has to fight. He has to save his base. You can't go down to 3 bases against mech. They're going to become too cost-effective. Oh, God. The Dorito dust covers the queens. A handful of roaches to the other side, but the Thors are already here. The Locust coming in. He's going to fight with them. The queen's being blasted down. Anti-armor missile. Oh, my God. Hits all the roaches and Ravagers. He's going to commit to the fight anyways. Locust on top of everything. Corrosive Files as well across the tank. Not going to be enough to take them all out, but a lot of them will fall. Reynor refills 23 roaches. The base is going to go down, and that means the base to the north is potentially a target as well. Gumiho moving some Hellbats up there. More medevacs on the way across. They can support the Hellbats and potentially drop them on top of the unit. Still a Thor. It looks like Gumiho is now in the driver's seat for this match. It's just Roach Swarm Host against a Terran player who has more bases. He's holding on, but the anti-armor missile is gone. Double kill. Oh, wait. Doesn't quite nail it with Corrosive Bow. Anti-armor missile covers a lot of the Roach Ravager, but there's overwhelming numbers to cut off the reinforcements. The base to the north is taken out or canceled. I don't know exactly what happened. The Hellions are fighting anti-armored Ravagers, something I've almost never seen before, but the Thors are pounding through from the back. Locust gonna clean up the rest of the tanks that were left over from that early attack. Loads up the Hellbats into the medevac, pressing forward. A lot of Ravagers on the way. Still a cooldown on the Locust. He's trying to get on top of the Ravagers, and he will successfully. The Ravagers pop out. There will be enough. Hits a few Thors with the Corrosive Bows. Reynor dipping in supply. You don't want to be even against a mech player. Gumiho continues pushing through. Still a couple queens maybe to use. Corrosive Bile. There's only a single tank. It will hold for now. Another wave of Locusts needs to save him. Reynor needs these Locusts now. It's +2. Reynor down under 150 supply. The Swarm Hosts are ready, but they'll all be activated. Oh, he's able to micro them away. These Locusts have to do everything. He picks up. He gets out. Reynor pushed up to his natural. Pushed back. But Gumiho is forced to turn around after the Swarm Host finally... No, get the Raven! Oh, that queen, a traitor to the Swarm. The Raven has helped so much. It was such a big part of these fights, having anti-armor missile to open things up. It's time to breathe. Reynor's down to 54 drones. He's still got 12 Swarm Hosts, and he's making more. Thor drop. The lack of anti-air is hurting. Oh, gets one Thor. Gumiho a little sloppy there. There are still 6 queens. Creep is being respread, but make no mistake, Reynor's in a tough spot here. Got one of the medevacs. So what are the upgrades? +3 is done for Gumiho, especially for units like tanks and Hellbats. Gonna be very helpful. Not a huge deal on the Thors. They already hit very hard. Going to the front. Gonna try to snipe off some swarm hosts and dodge past the corrosive bow. Reynor back maxed out, but once again, he is one missed locust wave away from defeat. You can't be on this economy with this many bases and make a mistake. He barely can afford that +3. 200 supply, it seems like, well, he's fine. No, no, no. This is not the army composition you want. These are not the upgrades you're looking for. This is awkward. The Thor drop pounds down. He might be able to get some of that beautiful anti-armor missile from that Raven that was never killed. The Thor's... What? Gumiho. Oh, my God. That was unnecessary. He did not need to lose those Thor. The Liberator sieging up. Looks like one of them going to find some damage, but Reynor quick on the draw. Oh my god, he could hit the queen. Gumiho rotating around. He's got 4 bases. It looks like he's going for a 5th CC here. He's going to push in towards Reynor's. Reynor does 53 drones, means his army is very large, but... Oh god, the drone count might be dipping here in a second. Gumiho doesn't care. This base is cancel. He does get the cancel. The Vikings are there to slow down some of the locusts. Trying to take some shots, actually kills 2 Vikings. The Hellbat, the Hellbat's trying to hold, but the locusts fly right past. Gumiho eats some hits, but all of the locusts have been used. He has about 30 seconds here before the next round comes in. Can he even see him? Reynor, can he even see these tanks? He can't see him on the opposite side, and if he can't see him, he can't shoot at him. This bush looking very deadly. Is there an anti-armor missile ready on the Raven? It is now. The Locust, well, the Swarm Host, still waiting. A few more seconds on the next round. Gumiho continues to reinforce. There come the Locusts. Is he gonna try to eat them with the Thors? The Javelin missile's coming out, and the anti-armor as well. That means the Hellbats will be able to kill him so quickly. Barely any of the Locusts make it to their targets, the tanks, but a few will fall. The entire wave was used. What's left? 14 Roaches and 4 Ravagers. That's nothing. There are 7 tanks coming through, 13 Hellbats. He's gonna crush the 4th base. And it looks very likely that Gumiho should be able to carry this through to a victory in Game 1. A best of 7 could go the distance. I feel like Reynor is not getting the value on these Swarm Hosts that he needs to be. He's not staggering the Locust waves, and that means if Gumiho deals with a single wave, then there's just like 30, 50, almost 50 army supply is essentially useless. Now that was a good one. He's going to find a great angle there from the back. The tanks are exposed. The Roach Ravager comes in. This is Reynor's chance. Corrosive Bow's not on target. He's going to siege up. He knows that most of the Biles were just used. A big wave of tank shots. Still, the Swarm Hosts are helping him hold on, but remember, Gumiho has another base and another base. He's got orbitals. He's at 3-2 now. The Swarm Hosts still waiting for their moment. Guns down one of the Liberators. That Raven, honestly, that Raven is the real MVP of this game. The tanks are sieging. Where are the Swarm Hosts? The Locusts are ready, but the Roach Ravager no longer. A scan. He sees Reynor trying to take another base. He's looking for the army. Gumiho has plenty of scans. Another wave of Locusts. He just needs to hold this one. He should be able to push through to a new base. The Roach Ravager's coming in. Reynor is desperate. He might be able to get the tanks, but the Hellbats are doing so much damage. The Liberator's pushing it out as well. Roaches are gone. He can just drop on top. Anti-armor missile. Hellbats are chasing Ravagers. What a world we live in. GG! The Terran sweeps Reynor in game number 1. That was a pretty good game. I really feel like Reynor was not using his Swarm Hosts how they need to be used. Gumiho was very confident pushing in, especially once he saw Reynor was keeping all his Swarm Hosts together, that you can handle a full wave. It's that the fact that Locusts keep coming in over and over and over. That's the real danger. And yeah, we're going to have to reload the game after each and every one. Were the sounds too loud? Did we find a happy medium? Or did we not on the game sounds? We're still struggling. Let me take the wrong logos off, because that's what I had. Sounds are fine. The Terran. Oh, you guys don't know about Gumiho. Gumiho, he's been around since 2010 almost. I don't know if it was 2010 when he first qualified for GSL, but almost. But he's called the Terran because he plays with his mouse in a towel. Like, why the hell would you do that? It's because he has a condition called hyperhidrosis, which essentially means you sweat a lot. You sweat so much, like he sweats so much that he can't use a mouse like on a mouse pad. The mouse will so he just plays with his mouse in a towel. If you ever see the shots of him playing, yeah, it's a physical game. All right, there's a lot of actions per minute. There's a lot of sweat, blood, mostly sweat. Well, yeah, he's playing with his mouse in a towel. I mean, is Swarm Host the normal play versus mech? Yes, it is. But, part of the reason, like the reasons I mentioned, it didn't work so well there, is because the Swarm Host didn't, you build momentum over time with Swarm Host, but at no point it really felt like Gumiho was letting him build any momentum, which is why Reynor kept getting pushed back, despite going for the Swarm Host pretty early on. Show us what of Gumiho? I don't know. Somebody I'm gonna Google Gumiho towel. I also typed in Google, by the way, in Google. Here you go. I'm gonna. This wasn't hard. As we get the match loaded as well. I have to restart the game for each one of these matches. It's kind of annoying. But I'll show you. All right. If I could find it. Here is Gumiho playing with his mouse on a towel. I've seen him with the towel fully wrapped around. I mean, there's a lot of variety there, but there you go. Anyways. Can you try that? We're back. Game number 2 of the base trade Star League cross-server finals. At least hundreds of dollars, potentially tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know the exact prize pool. But we got Reynor and Gumiho. Two of some of the best from their respective regions. Reynor definitely in the top, probably 3 European players. Don't ask me to put them in order. Well, there's Cyril, and then there's everyone else. Just like there's Maru, and then there's everyone else. I'm not sure if Maru decided to participate in the tournament. But we're on Fracture, which is a very different map than Lost and Found. This is the smallest map, one of the smallest maps we've seen in StarCraft 2 since, like, the Steps of War era, which we don't speak of anymore. Only 5 bases on each side, so 10 total bases, which means it mines out quicker than almost any other map. Will that be a factor? I don't know, but we'll have to see. And also, the distance between the bases is quite short as well, which means tank pushes or roach pushes, those timings hit a lot quicker. So, oh, I forgot about that. Gumiho was the first and only person to ever play random in GSL in 2010. And then, I think the next season he was Terran. I count 6 bases on each side. All right, let's do counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I count 10 total. We're going to see another later gas out of Reynor. He wants to get his third base up a little. a little quicker. 10 expansions. Yes, I meant expansions. That's 100% what I meant. Speed will be slightly delayed, but getting the third base up, not allowing the Reaper to do any sort of delay is very nice. It's a stylistic choice. Some players will still just go for the quicker speed, but Terrans really shouldn't take damage to speedlings early on unless you're actually able to sneak them out. So a lot of players don't mind delaying it a bit. Gumiho makes 2 Marines. This might just be what he wants to do. I'm interested to see. There's a build that I've seen players using that's like a Cyclone, 4 Marines, and a Medevac. It's like halfway between just opening Viking Hellion and also potentially defending an all-in. Like, having a Cyclone and a Medevac and options like that are important, but you don't commit all out. Like, you're a lot less likely to die to roach timings, but you can still kill Overlords and force a response. So, it looks like that might be what Gumiho's going for, but no. He's going in the Hellions, just added on 2 Marines early. Just a little bit of a different way of going about it. He seemed very comfortable with that mech play. Like I mentioned, I think Gumiho, in a vacuum, I bet if Maru or TY played mech, they'd probably be better. Because Maru and TY, especially Maru, are just on another level. But overall, I think Gumiho is the best mech player, mostly because he plays it more than anyone else. I'd say Maru, I've seen Maru in TVZ. In the games, he doesn't proxy rec, so we're already reduced to like a 20% mark. In the games he doesn't proxy rec, goes mech like 1 out of 5 games. Gumiho, probably about half. So, I guess sometimes it's map dependent. I don't know. I'd actually like to ask him at some point. Maybe I'll ask him. Oh wait, Gumiho didn't make it to BlizzCon. Rip Gumiho. I really wanted him to get to BlizzCon. I think SOS snuck in. Ling's coming in, but this map has a tighter choke here. I'm going to BlizzCon, by the way. Just very subtle there. Oh, you don't want to lose that 3rd CC. Gumiho. Gumiho. He was microing the Hellion drop on the other side. And there's also, it looks like a Widowmine drop went down as well. No, that was the Reaper. I take it back. It was not a Widowmine drop, what am I saying? There will be a Widowmine drop. I knew that was going to happen. I just wasn't sure exactly when. Checking for... Hey, has he seen the Roach one yet? He has not. There's a lot of Lings on the way. The Roaches are... Wait, oh, whoa. Gumiho has... Oh, he knows. He has a very good idea. Something's happening. Reynor has 41 drones, so it's not like this is a low economy push, but he delayed the 3rd. You can't repair a building that isn't finished. You might be like, but why, Winter? Don't ask questions. The Roach Ravager's coming up. That 3rd base will not be completing, but this drop is so important. Reynor not pulling away. He's not paying attention. This could do a lot of damage. 7 kills so far. Make that 13. And there's still 2 more mines. A tank is done. He's in the main. This time, Reynor gonna notice. But still, the danger is there. Gumiho focused on the other side. Everything coming back to defend. I think, overall, the big loss there was the 3rd CC. Having the 3rd CC finished and pulling all that off would have been amazing. Still very good. Oh, and he kept the Hellion drop alive. There's still potential here. The Zerglings are still on this side of the map, but he's going to lose more drones. Unfortunately for Gumiho, the Zerglings are there. This is, get him out of there, boys. Okay. There's a Banshee. There are 3 bunkers still. There's going to be 2 left over and 2 tanks. I don't know if the Zerglings can do anything here. What? Reynor, why? He's just like, I wonder if the tank still does damage. But yeah. Now, you got to look at, in these situations, it can be kind of hard to judge who comes out ahead, who's behind. There are 3 main factors. The first factor is just sheer economy. How many bases, how many workers. In this case, Reynor still has 3 hatches, and he's producing drones, and he's in a comfortable position with drones. But what makes me think that Gumiho actually comes out ahead is that his tech is coming together And Reynor's is so much further behind. Like, Reynor made a lot of roaches and lings. He's now starting his lair at 7 minutes. He's starting his 1-1. Gumiho's getting double armory, and there's no way Reynor can threaten him. So that means that he's going to be able to get... Is that a double tank drop? What are you doing? You madman. What is that? If he sieges him up in the main, I'm going to lose it. Alright, like... Who drops 2 tanks? Anyway. Well, Gumiho does. He's going to go for... He wants the queen. He gets the queen. Mission accomplished. And the Banshees are coming in. There are Spore Crawlers, but he just assassinated one of the queens. There's only 3 left. If they're on their own, well, the Spore Crawler's hitting. It's cloaked by the Overlords. Oh, Gumiho didn't realize, I don't think. He did kill the queen there, but... No, Gumiho! Oh, God. Okay, I take it back. I was like, well, Gumiho's in a solid spot. He's going to have 3 CCs. He's going to have a good economy, good upgrades, and he's essentially untouchable. But he did just lose a Banshee and 2 tanks for, like, nothing. Which really cuts into the tech lead he had. At this point, Reynor's starting to realize, yep, it's mech again. It wasn't 100% confirmed to be mech, because there were still, like, you make tanks anyways, and he had a lot of bunkers. He might have baited Reynor into thinking it was going to be bio, but then, bam, 2 Banshees. And Gumiho's just pushing with kind of a disjointed put. There's enough queens to deal with the Banshees, but not if they have anything else to contend with. There's no tanks here. There's nothing to make this do damage. So, the Zerglings are running by. I bet Gumiho can just feel them. He can feel them. You know, like, if he's not trying to fight you. The Hellions came back right on time. A grand total of 1 SCVs has gone down. I don't even know if that was there or not. But shutting down those lanes, it's still not a huge deal. Wait. Did he cancel +1 melee to go for +1 ranged attack? It was almost done, but yeah, he canceled it. So that 100% indicates that Reynor thought this was going to be bio. He committed to the +1 melee. As soon as he realizes it's going to be mech, he cancels a +1 melee that's like 80% of the way done and immediately goes into ranged attack. So he's adapting as quick as possible, but he didn't know. The swarm hosts we're starting to shape up a lot like the previous game. The start has been very different, but it looks like we're in a similar scenario, except here, Gumiho doesn't, he has a lot of Banshees. Oh, he's gone Never mind, I take it back. The Banshees are really different. The Banshees, yeah, he's going to force out Hydralisk. I don't know if he knows about it yet. There was a drop. What happened to the drop over here? Well, there's not a drop anymore, so you can do the math on that one. Some of the upgrades that people barely even see are being upgraded right now. We got rapid-fire launchers for the anti-air on the Cyclones. We got smart servos for the quick transform on the Hellbats, the Vikings, and the Thors. And then we got 2-2 on mech in our very first engineering bay. That's a lot of Hellions running by. On the other side, the Ravagers trying to come through. The lack of tanks is going to hurt, but where are the Banshees? Where are the Banshees? They're in the middle of the map. If they can just kill off the swarm hosts while they're trying to be aggressive, that would be pretty huge. The Roach Ravager starting to do real damage here. Okay, the Banshees have to come back, but they will defend. Oh, no, Gumi!
Okay. Yes. Just as I deserve.
I'm not playing Ed Sheeran in the middle of a cast. All right. What the? Can we get some Ed Sheeran to really spice this Terran theme up? This is where if I knew more than one Ed Sheeran song, then I would try to make a pun, but I don't. So. Gumiho with scouting depots. This is super important with mech. It's kind of like playing as Protoss, where you want to make sure, like, if you're out of position, you're screwed. Is the simple version. And you don't have recall. The Banshees are actually committing to the opposite side. That's all. Oh my god! He's got 18 Hellbats and 13 Hellions. 31 Hellbats! Give them hell, Gumiho. And they have 2-2 upgrades. So they're not pushovers. The scan, there's nothing there to be worried about. He can just take out the Spore Crawler. Gonna micro back. Doesn't have Hyper Flight. Wait, does he have? No, he doesn't have Hyper Flight rotors for the speed. Gumiho full battle mech here. Reynor kind of struggling to figure out what to do. He has to come back. Are there Hydras on the way? The Queens are struggling. There's no creep! A classic mistake. No creep between the main and the net. And the Hellions are going to get on top of the Roach Ravager. There are no Locusts here, and he's burning through everything. 10 drones have fallen in the main. The Roach Ravager being burnt to a crisp on the western flank. The Locusts come up. But what are they going to do against... He's chasing Roaches with Hellions. Still a single Banshee makes it. It looks like that will go down. Gumiho is tearing through. But the Hellbats are kind of disjointed here. The Locust might be able to push them back for a time. This is Reynor's 4th base. He really wants to hold on to this, but it's already gone. 3-3 on the way for Gumiho. Solid 4 bases. Can maybe even go to 5. Being on a better economy with better upgrades and, let's be honest, better units. It's a bunch of Roach Ravager. Like, Gumiho is going to have to throw so many units away. So costful. This is one way to do it. Don't, like, what is happening? What is... what are you... What... So that's 4 tanks we've now seen die in meta packs this game. He's going to drop the tanks on the other side. If he had lost all those, then, yeah, maybe we have a longer conversation, but... A handful of Locusts. He's already on sieging. Might get one. Nope. And the pickup. Once 3-3 finishes, like, does he even have a hive? He does. Where are the like? Once 3-3 finishes without Vipers, it's essentially impossible to fight. Right now, it's still a struggle. He needs the transfuse and all the Locusts and all that. Get him, Roach. You got this. He even retargets it on SCVs. The clumpiness of these armies, and that's a technical term, by the way, the clumpiness of these armies is very important to note. Like, the battles don't end that quickly with the Queens involved. A few Roaches and Ravagers in the back. 3-3 not done yet. Gumiho actually losing some critical parts of his army. He's losing a lot of tanks. He's down to 2. He's replaced them with Cyclones, though. And with the weapon upgrade... Oh! Corrosive Bile hits. We're really brawling it out in the middle of the map, but Reynor has 49 drones. Eventually, the brawl goes in Gumiho's favor. 3-3 is closing, and it takes a while to finish. A scan scouts Reynor's base. He knows this one is not here. He just took it out. Another base on the way. A scan on the army. The swarm host exposed. The Queen's dying so quick. The lock-ons knock the Overseer out of the sky. And I just don't think there's going to be the numbers there. With 1-2 against 3-3, those Cyclones are going to be ridiculous. Still, Reynor tries to counterattack. He's doing his best. If Gumiho does make another mistake, and he loses a lot of Cyclones and tanks, then Reynor has now kind of reinforced his production. It's still, like, these are not the... You don't want 50 drones in Roach Ravager. You just don't. That's not... At this stage of the game, it's desperation. The Cyclones... Oof, the damage. Even the boys being pulled alongside. He's got 66 in total. A big wave of Locusts. We're going to target Gumiho's new base. But watch this. And there goes the hatchery. The Locusts are flying as far as they can. It looks like they might find something up here. You wanna land them. Where you going, Locusts? Oh, the corrosive vials. You don't want to hit your own roaches too much. He might be able to kill the command center. Is he gonna bother? Well, the Cyclones are pushing through. Gumiho is everywhere. You don't need silly units like ranged liberators or even that many siege tanks. Well, he has 11 siege tanks. I take it all back. But +3/+3 Cyclone Hellbat against a Zerg on worse economy and worse tech. This is Reynor's last chance, his last stand. The Locusts jump into the air, they hit the ground, and now they're nowhere to be found. Gumiho is crushing through. It's not just the tanks anymore. And Gumiho takes a 2-0 lead. Gumiho plays mech like it's bio. I don't know what's up with the tank drops, though. What do you think Reynor's biggest mistake? Honestly, like, his swarm host usage is not... That last game was harder to judge. Because Gumiho successfully duped him. Reynor was going for what could have been a good all-in. Or at least heavy pressure. But Gumiho handled himself super well. Like, that's a little bit of a gamble, and if the gamble doesn't pay off, then you're way behind. It's hard to come back from that. But game number 1, I think his swarm host usage was a big issue. Because they need to keep mech back. You need to keep them contained. And ideally be denying bases. But he did not do that. He was not able to get in that position and really do it. I don't think Reynor likes playing against mech. Reynor, like, everybody, the whole keyword phrase is Zerglings and Zergling counterattacks and little micro. Like, you just can't do that against mech. Like, 2 Hellions and then whatever. So... He's adapting his playstyle, and it's not quite keeping up. But Gumiho is in his comfort zone. Playing aggressive mech, like with a lot of Banshee harass, stuff like that. That Gumiho is playing how he wants to play. I think Reynor has to keep that from happening. I think you go for, like, you reset here. You go for an all-in, or you force him to respond to you, which he was kind of trying to do last game, but didn't fully commit. And also, Gumiho had almost a direct counter. But we'll see. We're going to go into game number 3. We are on Parasite. Gumiho's up 2-0. The base trade, Star League, cross-server finals. I hit my hand, and then to do a strong gesture, I squeezed it so hard that I, like, stretched out my pinky finger. Who said streaming wasn't a dangerous job? Reynor in the bottom right. Gumiho doesn't even need to break out. Is he going CC first? You madman. Gumiho's probably my favorite Terran overall is TY because of a couple reasons. One, you can actually copy TY. If you're like, I'm just going to copy Maru, and then you try to proxy Rex everyone, it just doesn't work because you're not Maru. I know, that's really generalizing the fact that, like, Maru just is faster and able to micro more things than other people better. And it's just, nobody can keep up with it. But TY as a player, he'll still do some of the same builds Maru does, but the way he plays and the way he thinks is easy to follow. Like, he's a couple steps ahead. He's already got range going for his Liberators before the Protoss has Storm done. He's building Ghosts before the Ultra Cavern is finished. Things like that. He's building Battle Cruisers against Protoss and winning. You guys remember that? Gotta go check it out. TY versus... Was it Classic? Trap? Classic? Trap? Trap? I don't know. One of those. But just search TY Battle Cruisers. You'll probably find it. I think there's a SC2 highlights. Anyways, but Gumiho is on the short list of my favorite Terrans because while he's not as solid as TY, and I don't know, like, it sounds bad, like, not as smart with his play, he just, no one's doing builds like him. At this level, at the top level, at BlizzCon potential qualifier level, no one does builds like Gumiho does as Terran. They just don't. He mixes in the mech. He mixes in some weird, like, drop play. He'll throw the battle cruisers in, too. Like, he's not scared of it. TY versus Creator. It was that one. Wait, or Classic. Creator. Yes. What unoriginal names for these players, by the way. Like, Classic, Creator, Trap. What, do you just take, like, a random noun or adjective and you decide it's going to be your gamer tag? How unoriginal. I don't know where Gumiho got his name. I know where Reynor got his name. Oh, Reynor's just making a bunch of Zerglings. The entire point of this is to... I mean, he's just going to try to hit him before there's any units. I've skipped over talking about the game at all. He kills the Reaper immediately, and At the top of the ramp, there is a wall, but he's just going to be way ahead on this point. Like, this is exactly... Well, Gumiho opened himself up to this. He did go CC first. And Reynor has the information on what the follow-up is. Well, now Gumiho does. The entire benefit of the CC first is getting that extra base of mining early. So, making a bunch of Zerglings has negated the CC first. Okay. Reynor's in the driver's seat. The thing is here that Gumiho does have his infrastructure. He's going to have his production facilities. So he can build enough units to retake his base. And the question will be, how greedy does Reynor get? Will there be an inflection point where Gumiho suddenly can be the aggressor and Reynor has overbuilt his economy? Oh, what? Are you just gonna... Ah! Surprise! More Zerglings! Gotcha. Taking a page out of the true book. Finding a way to make Zerglings work against mech. I mean, the Overlord was right there. The Zerglings were right outside. And suddenly, okay, now this is great for Reynor. Before it was okay. It was, well, you denied the base. You still had to make a bunch of Zerglings. Now, he's really cut into the... Oh, you don't want to be on hold position there. Oh, but wait! There's more! Okay. Yeah. Taking that many Hellions out at that specific time with Zerglings... He already made the Zerglings, is the important part. For the most part, he already made the Zerglings. He already invested that money, and he wasn't getting any additional value. But in killing 4 more Hellions, he's trading Zerglings for a delay in the Hellions. Eventually, the Zerglings are going to be useless. You don't even want Zerglings anymore, because Hellions just kill them. But if you can find an opportunity to trade those Zerglings for Hellions, and since you've already made them, then that's great. That's ideal. Oh, Reynor, looking for an opportunity. Still has some Zerglings. Like, oh, Reynor, do it. Get in there. That's a lot of Hellions on the way across. If they're not at home, well, where are they? I think Reynor can do a little bit of basic math here. The Roaches are in position. Can he actually body block? Not like Gumiho's going to try that. And the Zerglings. Ooh, not going to try it. The threat of them is keeping units at home. If he roasts all those Zerglings, then he can combine with his Hellions out on the map and maybe put together a strong push. Now, Reynor's at 50 drones. He does have a layer done. Just started roach speed. No upgrades. He's not cutting corners here too much. Rip Queen. Roaches are coming down, but yeah, 49 drones. Didn't even try to reach out for upgrades. Just making sure that the follow-up timing, because like you can build up with double reactor, and he knows it's double reactor factory. The amount of Hellions and Cyclones that end up coming at you is surprising. You feel like you're safe, you have a little bit more time, then suddenly there's this. That's a lot of Hellions, and there's going to be 4 or 6 Cyclones soon. So, I think Reynor cut off his drones at exactly the right point. Like, not trying to get an upgrade, not anything but roach speed. Just deal with this. Because if he's able to shut this down without delaying, well, without damaging his economy, then Roach Ravager in large critical mass numbers is the counter. But in low numbers can be picked apart. So it looks like Reynor is putting together his brick, and he wants to bring it to the other side of the map and smash through Gumiho's window. Or windows. I don't know what operating system he uses. Probably Windows. And there's really no, like, you can't just go into tanks. That's not an option. +1 is done, which is a huge upgrade for Cyclones. But Reynor is done with roach speed.
Yes, yes, yes. Just as I deserve.
Remove Edge Sharon.
I'll get right on that. Reynor now has the numbers. The Zerglings. I mean, the Zerglings can be used to wrap around the back of the clones as well. Maybe not the best positioning here for Reynor, but he really wants to get on top of those clones before they can get home to their STV. Yep. And he just jumps on it. The numbers are there. Reynor finds the time. He takes control of the game, and he puts himself on the board. And I think that's what he needed to do. Like, that was all off the back of his Zerglings there. It was all off them. And, like, a couple good catches. It might be like, well, you're just gambling. He doesn't react in time. But Reynor's at the level he is for a reason. He knows exactly when players are looking and when they're not. Because he moves his Zerglings past. It's not just like, oh, there are Hellions there. No, no, no. You don't attack. They have to be looking at the minimap. Because the Zerglings, they don't attack until they have a full surround. He moves them. So by the time there's any notification besides like a little dot on the, a few dots on the minimap, then there's nowhere to escape. You're not escaping from that. Zergling control. But yeah, I think going up 2-0 is kind of what led to it too. Gumiho going for the CC first, which is greedy. That's part of the reason that I worked it off. I don't know if Reynor would have done it if it wasn't CC first, but Gumiho a bit greedy, gets punished for it, as it should be. Alright. We're back. Game 3 of the Base Trade Star League Cross-Server Finals. Pride. And lots of money on the line. Reynor, the Italian Zerg from Exceed Esports. And Gumiho, the Korean Terran from Psystorm Gaming. All the matches have been... Well, Game 1 was probably the closest match. But it was kind of Reynor... I feel like he wasn't using his tools as well as Gumiho was. So... we'll see. This Dreamcatcher's a little bit easier to play defensively. The biggest threat early, besides just a bunch of Zerglings, is going to be something like a Nidus. There's a lot of space in the main base here. But we'll have to see. If you're able to lock it down, tanks are very... They can shoot over the cliffs with magical physics and make it really difficult to hold on to 3rd and 4th bases if you're down economically. We'll see. Still no proxy racks. By the way, you think he'll break it out at all? Like if this goes 7 games, will Gumiho just break it out? We're waiting for it. It's just a Reaper expand on the other side. Reynor looks like he's going for... No, he delayed the gas a little bit again. He's going to go for the quick third. Was this drone scouting for proxies?
Command center upgrade
Maybe.
complete.
I'm not sure. He just wants to have... Okay, for you newer players out there, you're allowed to have more than 16 drones mining. It's just these players are so high level, and especially at this stage of the game, there's nothing else to do but maximize efficiency. If you have 18, if you have 19 drones, you're still getting a lot more income. It's better than long distance mining. Don't freak out if the number's in red. I do love watching the freak out when the where are you going with this drone? Oh, he's hiding from the Reaper. Okay. Oh. I was like, no, you can't just lose that. Wait, is that off center? That's off center, right? That's not in the right spot. There goes the... Am I a crazy person? On the mini map it looks okay. Oh. I don't know. It looks, I mean, about 95% of the time when I think something off center and I cancel it, it wasn't off center. But on the other side, when I think about it and I think it's in the right spot, it wasn't. So I'm wrong on both counts. But my brain is tricking me off. Yeah, so whatever I say here is probably wrong. We'll just assume that and work from there. Is it going to be mech again? It's too early to tell. That's an armory. Once again, still too early to tell. But with the Gumiho, that is a higher tendency towards it. Just ignore it. I'm not worrying about it anymore. It's not that big a deal. Okay. It looks like it's probably gonna be. We have to like try to figure out when we can actually call it. I think as soon as you see an upgrade on the armory or another factory, players will still... We've seen, especially players like Maru, will be like, I'm going to make 24 Hellions, 4 Cloak Banshees, and then it's time to go bio. It's like, Maru. There are some Zerglings. 8 Zerglings on the field. Wait. Did he see the drop? There is no response to the drop here. There are 4. Okay, I think he's going mech. He's got +1s. Wait, he's going into Hellbat mode. There are 2 Marines in the mix. Why did you go with the Hellbat mode? You see, I don't get this from some Terran players. They're like, we're going into Hellbat mode because it's good. He could have lined them all up, but the Zerglings are on the other side, but plenty of Hellions there ready. I guess now you have them in Hellbat mode, which is nice. And they can be healed, whereas Hellions cannot, because reasons. Hellbats coming up. They still do a lot of damage. Hellbats do not do extra damage to light. They just do a lot of damage in a short range. Which is why they're so effective against most light units, because... Wait, they don't do extra damage to light. I'm going to fact-check myself in a moment, unless he just roasts all these drones and we all forget. Hellions definitely do. Hellions definitely do. Why is this SCV here? Just like, good job, guys. Keep it up. Keep it up. Oh, shit. Anna. Oh. Oh. Boys. What's going on up there? Okay. I'm fact-checking myself. I might be confusing this with another unit. Hellbats do... They only do extra to light if they have the blue flame upgrade. If they don't have it, then they don't do extra damage to light. Fun fact. Anyways, 2 more Banshees come in for, like, the 4th game this year. Well, last game we didn't get 2 Banshees. I mean, the Banshees always seem to be coming in. Gumiho really knows how to use these early game units. And it kind of feels like we're getting the whole, like, banquet platter of mech openers here. If you want to learn mech, you watch Gumiho. He streams sometimes, not as often as I'd like. But this game, we went with a combo Hellbat run-by into Banshee. Before, it was like just a we don't mind Hellbat, like Hellion. 2 factories. Like, he's done a different build every game. Last game, of course, he got cut off before he could really get started, but the ideas were there. You could see where he was going with it. The Hellion's still running by. And it's going to be a Thor drop follow-up as well. And the Thor drop is really nice against roaches, because roaches don't shoot up, fun fact. So as long as you can keep him at home, like if he's forced to stay at home because of the damage and the threat of Hellions, then why not follow with a Thor drop? But Reynor is not... He's taken back control of this series. He tried Infestation Pit twice. Didn't like it. We're going with the Spire. Now, is he actually going to go Mutas? Does he know this is a Thor drop follow-up? He has to know that's a possibility, because, well, there are 3 Banshees. In a previous game, on Fracture, Gumiho ended up going for, like, 6 Banshees. I'd love to see, like, 7 Corruptors to actually kill bases. It's going to be 8 Mutas, which can be very effective, but already some turrets coming up. Unfortunately for Reynor, there are going to be medevac Thors. If he had kept making Banshees like the previous match, we saw the Banshees then, yeah, the Mutas would be great. The Mutas can still be a threat. They can keep the Thors at home, which is a benefit as well, as long as he doesn't just lose all the Mutas right off the bat. Keeping the Thors at home is value. Like right now, these Thors do not... I mean, if he just kills them, that also works. That's also pretty good. I might have spoken too soon. This might actually be the best possible counter. And he's in high impact mode, not the splash damage mode. Down goes 1 medevac. He's going to lose a Thor. The Banshees are here, but the Mutas are in the main. Unfortunately, there's a turret. I don't know why we went into Hellbat mode there. There are 2 Vikings. That's not really where the Vikings want to be. This is an odd situation where he's targeting down one of the tanks. 1 Thor comes back. Unfortunately, he's not in the splash damage mode. He's going to be able to escape. Just barely. Tanks being targeted down. The Hellbat's holding the line for now. The SCV is going to require some repair. The Vikings going to be taken out by the Mutas. The Banshees are back home to defend. The Mutas being thinned out. The Banshees doing their best on the ground, trying to keep the medevacs alive. And we see, this is such an odd scenario, because eventually Reynor will lose all his units. He doesn't have anti-air, but there's not much anti-ground either, so Reynor has to back up. And behind this, he's making more roaches. Gumiho has been, I almost want to say baited, into making more Thors. He's only got 1/1 upgrades as well. That's something we saw be a big factor in the previous matches. Are heavy, like Gumiho on top of the upgrades, sometimes better than Reynor's. This game, not so much. He's still got 68 SCVs, that number about to drop a bit. The Banshees are here. There's still no like, the Queens are coming, but there's just not enough units here. Thor's not a great counter to Roach Ravager. They just aren't. In these numbers, in small numbers, of course. Thors are good against everything. The Banshee's being pushed back. Looks like he'll pick up one. The Queens, well, they're pretty far off creep, so if he starts losing any fight, they will fall. Gumiho at 140 supply. I think it's going to come down to the upgrades here over time. Like, if we keep trading like this, then Gumiho isn't going to be able to take the trades that he was previous. And also, Reynor has 78 drones, which is somewhere he's almost never been. This feels like the best opportunity for Reynor to show how to play against mech without playing from behind. Of course, Gumiho loads up the triple Thor drop, dropping the hammer. Will Reynor see it? The vision with the cliffs is pretty rough. You have to have the right angle there. The Roach Ravager coming around. No fourth base for Gumi. 13 Swarm Hosts on the way now. Remember, those cliffs work both ways. Can be very helpful. Now, will he just target this base? Reynor sees it now. He boosts forward. There's enough tanks to stop this. More than 3 tanks spread out is not going to be realistic at the moment. The triple Thor drop definitely going to do some damage. He goes straight for the hatch. Burrow starts. That hatch is not going to live. Here comes Gumiho. Once he opens up some space on the map, the Hellions find a lane. The Roaches are already there to block. The Thor drop still doing damage. It's killed some drones so far, down to 68. The Thors will all be able to pick up and get out. 5 Corruptors on the way. Probably a good choice in this scenario. The Thor's kind of semi-trapped here. Looks like he might lose 1 medevac. The Queens don't have the creep to chase. The Corruptor's about to finish. Reynor has a hive, but it's not done yet. The boost off the creep. Unfortunately, Corruptors don't move faster on creep. I think those Thors are in high impact mode. It looks like that's a yes. Gonna blast down one of the Corruptors immediately. The Hellions coming up. He's still on 1-1. Gumiho almost on... This is almost a 3-base all-in. Because he's not getting upgrades. He's not going to a next-level attack. He's maxed out. And he's going to try to mech it happen. Does Reynor have what it takes? The Locust from the back can cut off the reinforcements, and the friendly fire are going to be very dangerous. Splits off, kills 1 tank. Is in the midst of the Thors, trying to draw the fire. The Unsiege from Gumiho. That's a lot of supply for Reynor. That kills 1 tank, maybe? Something like that. The Corrosive Biles land, actually going to do some damage to a lot of the units here. Burrow move is done. Does he have Burrow? He doesn't have Burrow. The hatchery that was researching Burrow was taken out. The Hellbats are on the mineral line. That's a lot of drones down. He's going to be dipping under the 60 mark. 14. Oh, God. It's a barbecue. Gumiho pushing through. The supply is still near max, but just, like, it's Roach Ravager against tanks. He has a hive. The Locust coming in again. They're going to try their best. The missile's coming through. Trying to get some shots off with the Corrosive Bile as well. He has a triple tank stack there. He can take out most of them. The Locust coming through. Not enough. Reynor dipping in supply. He's still got 4 bases. The Hellbat's going to take out the 5th. I don't think there's any way he can actually defend this hatchery, though. He needs to re-expand up to the north. He's got 2,800 minerals, but what are you going to build with minerals now? The Vikings hit the deck to chase the Swarm Host, a sentence which has almost never been said in the history of StarCraft. The Roach Ravager falling back and falling back and falling back, but there's very little to fall back to. Gumiho gonna kind of consolidate his forces now that he's taken out these key objectives in the hatcheries. That gives time to Reynor. He's got another wave of locusts. It has to be a huge one. There's the vision. There it is. He's coming in, trying to almost cover for the locust. The corrosive biles not quite doing everything they need to. The locust gonna hit the midst of everything. The tanks are sieged up during this. Reynor again, blasted back. Gumiho. Does he feel like he has enough to end it? There's another 20 seconds left on the locust. Reynor down to 47 workers. Trying to take the gold. A lot of exposed drones. He knows he's got to be greedy. It's getting to the point, though, his army's getting thinned out. The upgrades aren't there, so Gumiho, like, if he gets hit from a bad angle, it could still go either way. Like right now, having the tank sieged up at this exact timing against the locust coming in. One of the Thor is very badly bruised. He's going to micro it back. But the locust might be just enough to clear this up. And Reynor might be able to hold. Looks like yes for now, but he's gonna find more drones! I don't even know if he was looking for him or just running away. The Thor drops, slam down, 18 kills, 7 kills. More drones gonna fall, 42 left, and dropping. These are simply, he's making lings. I don't know. I don't know about lings. The Hellbats going to work. Gumiho, oh my god, a dangerous game. He loses both Thors, but Reynor has lost so many drones. The Vikings are just raiding around. And lose one to the Queen. The Hellbats cleaned up. Gumiho still. Gumiho needs to chill out. The only way Gumiho loses this game is if he keeps losing tanks one at a time. The Swarm Host, he has the account. I don't know if he knows how low Reynor's drone count is. 36 drones is not nearly where he wants to be. Gumiho has excess SCVs, it seems like. The Vikings looking for an opportunity. That base is gone. Some SCVs will be cleared out. +2 is on the way here. Ooh. The positioning. Without the +2, the tanks aren't that scary. They're scary, but once that's done, Roach Ravager, it's going to be almost impossible to fight. Every Swarm Host wave, like, we've been in this position before with Reynor, a bunch of Swarm Hosts just not quite doing enough. He's got a gold base. But, oh god, there are more Hellions. Gumiho. This isn't very nice, Gumiho. This is looking like one of the times when maybe a Muta switch? I don't know. There's some roaches on the opposite side. Still, the burrow move roaches with no burrow. If he had it, like, right now would be the perfect time. Oh, he gets the units away. A nice split there. He's going to try to come in with everything. The Roach Ravager going to try to make sure those tanks go down. Beautiful moves by Reynor. Perfect Swarm Host usage. Now he'll push Gumiho back. He distracted him on this side. The Hellbats are there. But the Locusts come in at the right timing. +2 just now finished. Almost an anti-timing from Reynor. But he knows he has to do damage, but he simply cannot. Where are these even coming from? A double Thor drop into the main. Just going to work through a macro hatch. Reynor, like, that's too many tanks. He has a hive. We haven't seen any Vipers. He doesn't really have the gas. Another wave of Locusts is almost ready to go towards the third. This is actually a great angle to be working at. He can maybe catch the tanks on the rocks. Oh, he's going to look for it. He's going to go for the ground there. Got a little distracted. The Hellbats splintered off. The Thor drop in the main will be picked up, but the tanks exposed. The Locusts are going to take another one out, and SCVs as well. It's starting to crumble. The weaknesses of mech showing here. If he gets spread too thin, then suddenly these Zerg units can be much more cost-effective. It's the critical mass of units you want, and partially the upgrades. The fact that he didn't have an advantage means that every fight he has to have the right position, otherwise he gets picked apart. And suddenly Gumiho at 120 supply, at 37 SCVs. His best defense is a double Thor drop, and that's a lot of army supply on the other side of the map. Corrosive Biles running down, not going to take out an orbital, chasing down a lot of refugee SCVs. A Hellbat drop coming through. Reynor at 35 drones, Gumiho at not too many more SCVs. Looking for an opportunity, tries to chase him down. Locust on the opposite side. Trying to help out with that. He's going to lose a couple tanks. Gumiho keeping this Thor drop alive is absolutely paramount in this game. The Vikings also have an opportunity to get something done. The main base has been lifted. I think this is the main. Who knows? Still, Gumiho has a lot of orbitals to work with. That is important. Neither player thinks they can afford any more upgrades. I don't know about this engagement for Reynor. He gets Corrosive Biles, knocks down one tank. but it gets caught in kind of an awkward position. The Locusts have been used. He's still got about 15 seconds on them. Has to hold on to the gold. It's at half HP. He has to hold on to it. Another round of Corrosive Biles. Oh, double kill on the Medivacs. No more micro potential on the Thors. That's a big move there. And the Locusts are ready. This could be the moment for Reynor. He's going forward. Double kill on the Libs. He gets one. The other one a bit off center. The Locusts are cleared up pretty quick. He's wandering into the Freedom Zones. You got to be really careful about that. Those Liberators do so much damage. Gumiho's moving in. There's damage on the other side. The Roach counterattack is there. But the base is exposed. It's at half HP. Reynor trying to make the save. The drones are pulled. Everything is on the table here. The tank shelling from so far away. Vikings hit the deck. The drones are all going down. But Gumiho holds strong. So few SCVs on the opposite side. The base is gone. 23 to 22 workers. The swarm hosts are still on the field. Roaches and Ravagers as well. There's still some tanks sieged up. Gets a Thor. The Roaches going to work. There's almost no mining left for Gumiho. He just has this base, but Reynor only has these mineral patches. How long on the Locust? He has them ready. The Vikings are in position to intercept. More Hellions to reinforce. Gumiho down to 86 supply. The Roach Ravager on the chase while the Locusts are flying in the air. A massive Corrosive Bile. Gonna get 2 tanks. The Locusts gonna get more. And Reynor is rushing through. Barely holds on. Finally finding those Locust waves he needed despite not having the burrow move. And he wins. He beats it. He finds a way against the mech. It comes down, I think, a lot to the upgrades. Like, Gumiho put everything into ending the game. He tried to end the game. Because he wasn't going for +2. He wasn't making a bunch of extra SCVs. He wasn't tacking up to Starport. He maxed out with 1-1 and pushed. Eventually, Reynor dealt with it. Barely. Barely. The amount of, like, so many people would have just tapped out. When you're at, like, 40 drones against a mech player. That's the difference. That game, we see Reynor with some really good swarm host usage. It definitely won the game. In the first 2 games we saw against the mech, wasn't cutting it. He was using the Locust, the threat of the Locust as air superiority, essentially. Like, you can't siege up right now. And then moves forward, kind of like leapfrogging. Much like a Terran. So, finally got another game loaded up, but we got a series. Alright, in the top right from Storm Gaming, the Tal Terran. It's Gumiho. And the bottom left from Exceed Esports, the Tenacious Zerg. I was trying to come up with something clever. Young Reynor. Going for gas first, but. So, subtle differences between a lot of these matches. All looking very similar, like Roach, Ravager, Swarm Host versus mech. Versus tanks, Hellbats, Thors, Hellions. I think a big factor in that game also was Reynor being a little bit more patient. Like, he gave up several hatcheries that felt like he needed to defend. But that means he eventually maybe could win a fight. So. Now what is this going to be? A single gas. This should just be Zergling speed. 2 gas would be probably a Ravager all-in. This can definitely take a player off guard. Yeah, it's going to be straight speed. If Gumiho does not scout with an SCV or sends his Reaper across at the wrong time in the wrong way, you could potentially lose the game, at least like lose a command center. Reynor is not messing around with this. That's 8 lanes. This essentially means he wants that command center dead and then maybe even more. What are you going to build here? Gumiho. Looking at the 2-1-1. 2 barracks. Is he going to go bio? No, wait. This one. That's what I meant. Imagine that at the right time. Anyways. Just imagine I nailed that. The Reaper is in the worst possible place it could be. Depending on who you are, it might be the best possible place. He doesn't even care about the SCV. Just go for the CC. He's building a reactor. This is worst case scenario for Gumiho. The base is gone. Gumiho, you gotta cancel it. Okay. Wait, still the last second, though. Like, Reynor actually ended up making 14 lings, which is almost overkill here. I think that actually is over. Maybe he was expecting Gumiho to have... Because Gumiho's opened up with 2 Marines. If he had opened up with 2 Marines behind the Reaper, he might have pulled SCVs. And if he pulls SCVs, then the additional lings that he built, which he didn't need, but then he can just kill it all and maybe win the game right off the bat. So it's like a semi-bait, I think. Does he get the Reaper? Oh, Juke Skywall. Oh, wait, no. God. It's going to be a delayed... This is a 1 base 2-1-1. Gumiho has no transition out of this. 1 base 2-1-1. But it looks like it might actually be later than a regular 2-1-1. So, did Reynor see the second rank? Well, the Marine count is a giveaway. Just the fact he's still producing Marines is a bit of a giveaway. Like, they shouldn't be there, but they are. What is... He's making more lings? Reynor just does not... This is a very gotcha Zerg style. Like, why would you make more lings? Just... There's really no way for Gumiho to scout whether or not there are more lings. Like, he's holding them here. There's just no way. Like, he has to gamble. If he comes down the ramp too early, then he gets crushed. One at a time. You are the chosen one. Goodbye. He gets a couple Marine kills. Do it again. He keeps training like that. Now, that is enough. Wait. Reynor's made more lings. Stim is not done. It's neither player knows exactly how much the other has. But the Hellions are definitely going to seal the deal. It's like, okay, wait a second. If there's one thing you don't want to have invested heavily into against like a Hellbat Marine push on the boys on the way across. He's like, oh, okay. I don't... He's going to try to counterattack, but there's no economy to counterattack. Like, it's a Hellbat boys Marines push. He's going to wall off. Honestly, like a double wall might be necessary. He has no other tech. It's Queens, a Spine, a wall, and Zerglings. Stim is done. He's counterattacking. It's like, nope, there's nothing there. There's like 2 SCVs mining. He's trying to break through. The boys leading the charge. The medevac's so important. Safe. He needs to go repair that. Gumiho, don't just lose the medevac. He just loses the medevac. But is there enough? That's a lot of lings coming in. The boys aren't quite buffering here. Only a single medevac. A lot of Zerglings at the back. The SCV's starting to fall. Yes. I mean, a lot of drones are as well. But has he done it? It's like all these units are so badly bruised. Another medevac is on the way. Reynor still has 17 drones, but he can only make lings. That medevac makes things very difficult here. I bet he'll like 2 Hellbats and that medevac. There are no more units that can get across. It seems like Reynor should eventually clean it up. There is a queen. Like, there's not enough energy on the medevac. That's actually a serious concern. He's gonna try to split. Oh god, Hellbats are really good. Oh my god. Jesus. Terran through everything. The medevac saved him. Okay. I thought... This is why you need, like, not just Zerglings. Reynor making that awkward amount of Zerglings, which sometimes can screw you. Like, he had already made 30 Zerglings. So, like, you don't really have the money to go for other things, but then suddenly the boys are pulled. I don't think he expected the one base Hellbats. That's... The boys were the... Like, without the boys, that would never have worked. The boys are the real MVPs. Buffering plenty damage. Alright. That takes us... Right now, Gumiho's on match point. In the base trade Star League cross-server finals. Best of 7. Gumiho up 3-2.
Yeah, you can take me there.
And we are back in potentially the final match. Gumiho showing he knows how to win in the early game too. By 3-2. These matches from Base Trade TV, twitch.tv/BaseTradeTV. If you subscribe, you get the replays to do with as you will. And now we're here. So I'm surprised at so many people thinking that was 7 games. These games have been so epic. Some of them felt like multiple games, I know, but another pool first. I think he liked the build. This is a map where CC first is very common. People have just started going CC first on Cerulean Fall. And Gumiho is going CC first on Cerulean Fall, which is a fun name for a map, by the way. I love it. Now, there is a very realistic possibility that there's no units. Now, here's the thing about the CC first. It's actually safer. It's safer. Because the command center is likely to be finished by the time that the Zerglings get there. He's so greedy, it's actually safer. It should be finished by the time any Lings are there. He's making 4 Lings this time, not 8. We'll see if he continues forward. Reynor getting speed as well. He is making some extra Lings. Will he commit as much as he did the previous match? Now, Gumiho is on the side of the map that the add-on is exposed. That is important. There's a chance while he might not be able to cancel or kill the command center, he might be able to catch the add-on while it's building. If he was on the opposite side of the map, that would not be the case. Is this going to work? Is he actually going to successfully? A bit of a mistake out of Gumiho. He didn't mineral walk the SCV to essentially slide through the Zerglings. If he did, he might have been able to scout that there's at least a hatchery on the way, if nothing else. Not seeing that now, Gumiho has to, well, he's not really I thought he might throw up a bunker or something. I don't think he might think those are the only Lings. Reynor lets him see 2 Lings. The speed is about to finish. Yeah, like... Oh, is he gonna eat? And there we go. The add-on is exposed. He's immediately knows. That might be part of the reason that Reynor chose to do this on this map, because he spawned in that position. That does factor in. If he kills the SCV once, I think he just he gets through the depot. He's trying to wall off. Just putting in orders. Cancels. This is... I've never seen something quite like that. The depots like pylons. Reminds me a lot of like Protoss versus Zerg. He'll hold. Kills another reactor. Yeah, Gumiho getting a little greedy on that. That SCV strapped in. Now he's going to end up with... I mean, he won't be supply blocked for a while on the bright side. The Reynor, not the Reynor, the Reaper, close enough, will slip out. So now we're in a kind of a weird spot. Reynor invested a lot to do that. Made 14 Lings. And he's expanding behind. But the window to do damage is over. It's ended. He can deny the base for about one more Hellion. Once that Hellion is out, that's too many Hellions. They one-shot. He gets the vision that he is flipping over for more Hellions. So Reynor is spiraling upwards in economy. There's a Viking on the way. We're kind of... Ooh. I like this from Gumiho. Once again, mixing it up. I think that's a smart move. Like, he's made it look very much like he's going Hellions. Like, heavy into Hellions. He's going to make 2 Cyclones. I wouldn't be surprised. Next up, we're going to see a medevac, I think. He's showing the tech lab. Like, it might be a tech lab starport, but a tech lab starport could mean literally anything. Yeah, a medevac comes up. Gumiho just has such a versatility in mech builds. And this is still not guaranteed to be mech, but it's close. There's the arm. I feel like it's Gumiho, okay? He was going to go... He actually won with Bio last game, technically. I think those were kind of extenuating circumstances, though. The medevac's coming up. And the Cyclone drop. Now, if this is scouted, like, and he thinks this is Hellions, Reynor is so on top. I don't even know how he knows the timing. There was no vision to see this, but he comes in at the right time. Gumiho already had the wall up. This won't be canceled. The Hellions need to actually be microed a little bit, right? Oh, he's so iffy. Get him, Zerglings! I think oh my god. What a save! I mean, if the Zerglings had a little more focus there, maybe they take it out. But Gumiho seemed confident. He could have pulled the trigger on the cancel. Like, I would have been super antsy there. I'm not going to save it. And of course, we're just going to throw a Cloak Banshee in the mix after this. As we always do, apparently. But that's just how we do. Just random Cloak Banshees. I mean, Cloak Banshee quite good against... Oh, he needs to be in position, but he should be able to... What? No. Did you see that? That Viking just slipping out from under there. Oh, the drops. Can we do a little bit of juggles? Little juggles? No, he doesn't want to lose the Cyclones. Pickups there. Banshee's done. So Reynor tried to follow this up. I don't think he was expecting the Cyclones. That definitely took him by surprise. Like, a roach timing against someone who's going Cyclone Banshee. If he had that information... Yeah, that was never going to hit. The scan is, I think, mostly for the drone count. Like, are you putting drones on this base? Or are you following it up? Like, is there a big queen attack going to come across the map? There are drones. Gumiho knows now. He's safe to build up his production. The roaches are pushed back into their own base. Back where they came from. And it's Gumiho's turn to do a little bit of damage. Kind of surprised, like, this is not the first time that Reynor's been taking damage from what seems to be a random Cloak Banshee. Almost random. A follow-up attack coming through. +1 attack about to finish as well. He's got a couple clones. They are not repaired, unfortunately. There's 14 Hellion/Hellbats on the field. Reynor, he's at 70 drones, by the way. If he holds this strongly, like if he holds on to his bases without losing more than 5 drones, is in a great spot. Even though he might lose a lot of his army, it doesn't matter. He has the economy to just put together huge timings here. The transfuses are mostly there. Missing a few of them on the roaches, unfortunately. The queens are definitely a better target for transfuse. But the forces are thinning out. The Cyclone's forced to retreat. And Reynor holds on with 70 drones. Gumiho has 62 SCVs. He's not a pushover here. But now this is a scenario where the mutas can do real damage. Because there has been continued production of Banshees. He's not going for a Thor drop follow-up. The mutas are a real threat here. Is there even an engineering bay? He doesn't have an engineering bay. He's not building Thors. The only anti-air is the Cyclones. Okay, I take it back. The Thors are there. He understands the danger. But, still. The Thors are not going to be quite done by the time the Mutas can be hitting them.
Good. Now I have your attention.
As long as he flies straight there, which why wouldn't he? Yeah, the Mutas are coming up. So, another mildly relevant interaction. Once Thors have +2 attack, their Javelin missiles, the splash damage, it two-shots Mutas. It only takes 2 hits to kill Mutas. Gonna go straight for the Cyclones here. The Thor's still not quite done. A little bit of fancy micro there. Honestly, just trying to buy time. And take out units that are gonna kill Roach Ravager. Thors are forced out. Reynor now is starting to get pretty far ahead in supply. He doesn't have a huge amount of drones, but he's got a lot of Roach Ravager. Roach speed isn't even done yet. The Thors are here, but Thor's not the greatest counter to this much Roach Ravager. He's holding down the R key. There's not a single tank. 2 are about to finish. Gumiho just never found an angle this game. The Banshee did a little bit. The Corrosive Biles might actually be enough to kill the CC. It shouldn't be able to float over quite in time. Not that it matters too much. Like, he's pushing them back. The first tanks are popping out. One of them just stuck in the main. The Muta's coming in. Going for the CC. Oh, he can get the Corrosive Biles. That might be enough to knock it down. It does. And Gumiho, I don't know what exactly went wrong here. I mean, he was slowed down in the early game, but... What are you doing, SCVs? The SCVs are like, just finish it. Finish it. What? Just take me. I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to be exposed to all this harassment in the workplace. And the SCVs take it down. I mean, Gumiho's struggle. 27 SCVs. This is unrecoverable damage. Reynor just needs to find a way to lay down the killing blow here. Upgrades are okay. He's got another base. But... you don't... This is not like I have speed Banshees or a bunch of tanks. He doesn't have the army to be a threat, which means Reynor can pretty much do whatever he wants. Is he just gonna kill him with roaches? Might go burrow move, get a hive. He still has a spire, remember, as well. So a little bit further out are Broodlords. Yeah, without losing those 30 SCVs, we might be having a conversation here, but they just ended up going the wrong way in the heat of the moment. He's trying to break out of his own base, which is not always fun. Plus 2 tanks do a lot of damage. It's not so much about, like, the problem here is not about, well, he's just going to go and try to cut off some tanks. Because even if Gumiho maxes out, Reynor has the, when it was more of a strategy, the 300 supply Zerg. Where you have 200 supply, you fight, you lose, but you do enough damage, and then you bring another 100 supply and you wipe them out. And that's what Reynor is doing right now. He's got the money, he's got the bases, he's got the production. I mean, this is not a cost-effective fight, by any means here. Until you start double corrosive biling tanks. The Thors on the high ground are good, but he's grinding them down. Ravager's coming in. That indicates he's not done. He's not done. He's not teching up to hive. Weak Zergs build a hive. Burrow move nearly complete. And I think we're going to see a very dramatic ending here. Will he notice it? Like, you can see the animation. We'll look at the Gumiho cam. I don't even notice it. Where is it? There it is. It's really hard to see. Like, and here we go. Oh, the tanks. Oh, God. They eat the shots. Wait, what about these ones, Reynor? Reynor. Okay. Reynor takes it, and we're going to game 7. Found the timings. he shut down the attacks a lot more strongly than he did in previous games.
Yeah, you can take me there.
And we have one last match. What map has not been played yet? I don't know. I can't see it here. We're just going to click on it and see.
Yeah, you can take me there.
Finally, the Bro Move Roaches seeing some use. Bro Move Roaches are definitely an option against mech. Like, they just... It always feels like players either forget for too long or they just skip them. But Reynor is definitely a player who likes them.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Hashtag remove Terran Kappa.
But the final match will be on. It's loading any second now. I swear. Believe me. Acid Plant.
Counting down another day. Make a wish and blow away you.
And away we go. The final match of the base trade TV Star League cross-server finals. All the regions competing. And the best making it this far. It's a best of one to determine who takes first and who's the best loser. In the top left of Acid Plant, the 16-year-old Italian Zerg from Exceed Esports. It's Reynor. And in the bottom right, the Terran, the Korean from Storm Gaming. Can he make it happen one last time? Gumiho versus young Reynor. Is now the time? Oh my god. How does he sit down as a computer with balls that big? You've been early pulled like 3 times, Gumiho, and you're still gonna go with the CC first. He's the other direction. People are proxying Rexes. He proxies command centers at his natural. Reynor has fallen back to the default, which is the hatch gas pool. Gumiho got definitely a little greedier, and well handled, he comes out ahead economically here. Right now, with the standard builds are mostly the Reaper Expand. Well, the default builds, Reaper Expand into Hellions, or 2-1-1, and the hatch gas pool. They both end up in a similar place economically early on, compared to each other. Gumiho, on the other hand, with the CC first, he's going to come out ahead. You just get more SCV production, more mules, as long as you don't overcommit to defenses. It's been an interesting series thus far. Like, the first couple games, it felt like Reynor was struggling to really deal with Gumiho's style of mech. Like, he wasn't using his swarm host very well. There were opportunities it looked like he could take it, but it ended up just being Gumiho just seeming more solid with more experience and able to take advantages. Game 3, Reynor punished the CC first with some early Zerglings and set him so far behind that he was never going to be able to do enough damage and had to tap out. Game 4 was incredible.
Now I have your attention.
On Dreamcatcher, where Reynor lost almost everything, but held on with much better swarm host usage, and the fact Gumiho was really just trying to end it, and Reynor didn't die. Game 5, Reynor, early Zerglings again, trying to punish an early base. And then it ended up being a one-base Hellbat Marine all-in with the boys pulled, and Gumiho takes it. And then the previous match, Gumiho just not able to get damage done. Reynor overwhelms him, just brings a hammer of Roach Ravager down, and knocks him out. So some of the games, a couple of the games have been close. A couple have been near blowouts. But now, I filled enough time. We can talk about this game, because neither of these players is taking any risk. The CC first is a small risk. It's not a huge one. It really just kind of depends on how you want to play out the game. A big risk would be like proxy racks or something like that. But 3 CCs for Gumiho. Reynor, for I think the first time in the series, has not made a bunch of units early and tried to kill his opponent. So, in game number 7, in the final match, the ace match, best of 1, we finally have both players just deciding to macro up. Double armory. Does he see any of them? Does Reynor have any vision of it? He doesn't see, like, he knows he's gonna go mech. This entire series he's been going mech. Besides the one time he tried to go 2-1-1, but that was very short-lived. Wow. I love this. Like, we've had so much aggression and, like, so many almost random seeming builds, and now both players are doing almost a textbook. It's going to be a single Banshee, but with no cloak to try to bait out spores and have some basic early defense, especially when you go 3CC. Did he actually get a Viking first? No, he didn't. It's 1-1 behind, so Gumiho covering his bases, figuratively and literally, by having... Like, the Banshee is for defense more than for offense here. Whereas Reynor not taking any risks on an attack. He's going to go up 50-plus drones. He's realized it's 3CC and probably mech, so he doesn't need too many units early. His upgrade's going to be quite far behind. And he does not have a roach farm. Does he know it's mech? Because he hasn't always known it's mech. A layer's on the way. +1 Carapace. We'll see if he gets +1 melee. The single Banshee comes in. Does the Banshee beat a Queen? I don't actually... I think it does, barely. Unless the Queen gets a couple hits off. I think it does by like 2. Oh, what a save! What a save! And saves the Queen. Yeah, there's not much else. Like, it's going to be a double drop Thor follow-up. Gumiho, the thing is, Zerg can take advantage of the lack of pressure much more readily because of their mechanics. There goes the Banshee, no cloak. Because they have Larva inject, because of how Larva works in general, creep spread. But at the same time, you've let Gumiho, an accomplished mech Terran, oh god, you've let him get everything he wanted. He's got 60 SCVs, he's got double upgrades, he's going to have 5 factories, essentially while losing nothing. I'm kind of questioning whether that's a smart move. Because every time Gumiho has gotten this heavy upgrade, like the economy he wants, every time he hasn't been pigeonholed into some sort of timing, he's won. But Reynor is going Wingbane against mech, so we'll see how that pans out. I mean, Banelings can counter Hellbats, and he needs them badly, because there's a Thor Hellbat push coming in. Raynor's gone up to 76 drones. The Ling counterattack, a couple Hellbats deal with. There's no Baneling speed on the way. The Hydralisk Den coming up. So this is going to be a brawl. Gumiho not going heavy on the tanks, and Reynor is not going into roaches. So this is a lot of high damage battle units. They got to go back and forth for trades. He's going to get the Lings on top. The upgrades aren't there, but the Queen's trying to help out. Hellbat's doing a great job. The Thor's not now targeting the Queens. As he loses one of the medevacs. That means one of these Thors isn't going home. But the Hellbats are doing such a great job. He's going to kill all but one of them. Drops the Hellbat out. The Thor is more valuable. Oh my god. Disgusting micro. Oh, are you kidding me right now? That Thor has 14 kills. That Hellbat has 20 kills! Oh my god! He's burning through! The Hellbat finally dies. The thing is, even though he killed 76 Zerglings, Reynor didn't really take economic damage. He has 4 bases. He's not keeping up on the upgrades, though. That's going to be the big issue. The upgrades are going to hurt a lot. It's now 2-2 halfway done for Gumiho. Halfway done. Nothing started for Reynor. He's getting his Hydra speed up. It looks like he wants to try to kill... Ooh, I don't... Is that worth it? He's just making so many Zerglings. He's taking so many bases. Reynor is playing... He must attack, and he must keep attacking. He can never let Gumiho stabilize. From this point forward, Reynor cannot stop attacking. If he's not attacking, he's losing. In a game where your opponent is going double upgrade mech, trying to get more bases, you cannot let them sit back. It's just simply something you cannot do. You can't. You'll lose. You will lose. A lot of Hellions on the opposite side. And one failed attack essentially means that Reynor is up against it. Even with 75 drones, even with all these hatches. The wraparound, he's chasing Hellions. This is a dangerous game. Your prey is very dangerous, but the Hydras are there. He finds a lot of Hellions. And before the upgrade's finished, so most of the Lings stay alive. That brings Gumiho down pretty heavily in supply. But 2-2 is done. The infestation pit is on the way. Reynor setting up for an attack. Zerglings from the right flank. There's only a couple tanks on the field. There aren't the numbers here yet. The scan sees the infestation pit timing. Very important. He knows when a hive can and cannot be. +3 is on the way. That means Gumiho feels confident here. He feels like I can get more upgrades. I can work towards the later game. I'm gonna be in a good spot. Still no upgrades out of Reynor. Like, I think he's just gonna max out and fight. Like, that Liberator setting up at such an annoying timing. These rocks have not been taken down. The tank count is building up. The Hellions are so, like, +2 Hellions with Blue Flame. Do they one-shot Zerglings? It's pretty close to it. Like, even Hydras too. Nobody's safe. A double Thor drop on the right side. Gumiho really starting to pick apart Reynor here. Goes straight for the base, and he finds the kill. The one thing is Gumiho has not yet secured a 4th. The 4th base is what allows him to have that almost the ability to essentially remax as a Terran. Without the 4th, Reynor can batter him down. Reynor still has a 4th. He still has 84 drones. So the Hive is on the way, so is a Spire. 2-2 just now started. Oh god, those Zerglings just seem to implode. A huge amount of Lings and Banes coming through, though. The Hellions not there to buffer for the tanks. The Banelings into the middle alive. A lot of LCV is going to fall right off the bat. 11, 12, 13. He's bringing more Lings in the other side. A good attack. More Zerglings coming in a split second before the planetary finish. Oh, got him. But Gumiho's nearing a max out. +3 attack and even +3 armor are coming in. How do you stop a maxed out mech army? In fact, he killed his SCVs, which means he freed up potential army supply. The Thors are inside the medevacs. A sensor tower is on the way. This is... The supplies might be even, but it's gonna take... It's getting closer and closer to a miracle fight. Like, the Banelings have to connect. The Hydra's ideally on creep. The tanks unsieged. All these things need to come together in the next minute or two. Well, he's gonna have 2-2, so there is a Hive. I might be overselling how much Gumiho can kind of try to end the game, but he's trapped the Hellions! But wait, has he trapped them? He's not really focusing on it. The Thors are... Is that a Penta Thor drop? No, he's only got 4. Quad Thor drop in the middle of the map, because why not? Why doesn't he have his high-capacity fuel tanks? We're still looking for that upgrade. The Broodlords are on the way. The Greater Spire is being built. Why have Hellions when you could have Quad Thor drop? And he has even 1 extra medevac. Is that gonna... I mean, why not? The Hellions were cleared up, but the base of the army, the Hellions can be replaced so quickly. But it's the Thors, it's the tanks, and even the medevacs and, like, Liberators. Viper. For the very first time in the entire series, we see a Viper. Also a Greater Spire. A lot of firsts here. It feels like Reynor has been dragged to this point in the game. Like... he was looking and looking and looking for an opportunity. This is a lot of damage. Those Thors hit hard. He's just pounding through the base. Unfortunately, that one Thor in the back feeling left out here. Will there be enough transfuse? I mean... No? The Banelings are coming in. That's not a good sign. Baneling's not a great counter to Thors. Oh, trying to target down some of the medevacs. 2 Thors picked off. Another one. I don't think it had a Thor inside it. The base does fall. So kind of a weird trade there. Gumiho definitely being more cost-effective, but the medevacs, do they have the boost? He gets away in time. You can't be losing like 4 Thors, even if you do kill a base. He didn't kill that many workers. The Hellions are coming in, completely exposed. I take it all back. Drones being roasted. He sacrifices a few for the needs of the many. The Blue Flame, the Zergling's trying to catch him. but they're so slippery, and they burn right through the front. More exposed! Finlings from both sides! The Viper is scouted in one of the least, oh no. 12 more drones going down. He's down to 65. It just seems Gumiho, he pokes and prods until he finally finds an opportunity to get those Hellions in and burn the drone count low. So now, the creep has receded. The base count, like, there's still some bases for Reynor, but he doesn't have the flexibility to just move around between a lot of different angles. Oh my god. 17 +3/+3 tanks. He needs Broodlords yesterday. 3 full energy Vipers, though. There aren't that many Vikings. 8 Vikings. Oh, I mean, is he gonna go? Do you go? Like, what is the choice here? The Hydras, you can't fight that. He's blasting through everything. That's way too many tanks. The Broodlords are on the way, but he lost so many Hydras. Hellions trying to come in the left side. His base is exposed. Reynor gonna be brought to 4 bases. That is not where he wants to be. He's no longer gonna have the income to just remax. He needs to keep these Broodlords alive. But the Vikings are already on top of them. Another Viper sniped off. Gumiho. Oh, God. That tank spread. Disgusting. The Hellbats, this is happening. He pulls back. He gets the key base. Gumiho's still maxed out. He has the 3-3. It feels like he's been playing for this part of the game the entire game, whereas Reynor has been trying to find ways to avoid this position. He's been trying to find a timing, find a way to get a counterattack. But Gumiho didn't let him. Gumiho the entire time is saying, I want to get to this point. 3-3. Mech with bases to spare. A solid SCV count, but not too many. A good unit composition. Like, Reynor can no longer make any mistakes. And even if he doesn't make any more mistakes, he might still lose. He doesn't have Adrenal Glands. Gumiho. There are 2 Thors coming down. I mean, there's not, like, any SCVs. Gas mining is important. Moves like this can distract a player and maybe open up an opportunity of attack. This attack can be crushed, but this one, on the other hand, is looking much more dangerous. Now, Reynor getting in 12 SCVs. This is starting to be real damage here. 15 SCVs. Well, the drones are going to be feeling the revenge. Oof. As well as the tanks on this base. They should be able to kill it. Where are the Vipers? The Ling's getting 22 versus 21 worker kills. Actually, more drones at the end of the day. The Blinding Cloud saves the base, but not this one. Reynor, you can't get cornered. Getting cornered in this position, you don't want mech to force you to fight. You need to pick a fight yourself. You don't want tanks putting you up against a wall. Reynor's struggling. He's building the Broodlords. He's got 8. He's going for 10. There's not overwhelming anti-air from Gumiho. He's building 2 Vikings at a time. It looks like he only has a single starport. Only 1. So Reynor can still win the war, even if he keeps losing battles. And now it has to be this. He's got some queens underneath. Anything to help. Another 2 Hellions are still such a threat. Like, the Broodlords getting some hits off. The magical Broodlings somehow flying on their own. But he's being chased. The Vikings are on the right flank. An unlucky Overlord scouts them. Reynor, this is it. This is the time. Parasitic Bomb on the way. He's trying to target down the brutes. Beautiful Blinding Clouds right in the midst of everything. The tanks are blocking the Thors from getting attacks off. But Reynor's being pushed back. The Vikings are on the ground to avoid Parasitic Bomb. For now, the Broodlords are holding, but there's just so much on the ground. Hydra's on the left. The tanks are sieged. I think the Vipers, he's trying to consume. He has 1 more Blinding Cloud. He uses it. Beautiful Blinding Cloud on half the Thors. The Thors are falling. Reynor, he's lost the base. He's losing the Hydras. He's lost so many drones. But can he hold with the broods? 2 more Thors come up and might crush his dreams like Gumiho crushes Zergs. Zerglings trying to make the save, but the only mining base, its drones and its life being targeted. The Thors rallying through, and Gumiho takes the base trade Star League. 4-3 over Reynor. In it really does feel like Reynor does not like playing against mech. I can say that much, at least, at the very least. Because almost every game against mech, he like begrudgingly accepted that he had to make units to counter mech.
Good. Now I have your attention.
That was a great series, though. Some battle mech, not like turtle mech, battle mech. Always, who's dropping 5 Thors, 4 Thors, whatever? They were like in the span of all the games, there was like somewhere around a dozen Thor drops or more. I don't know. Gumiho is fun to watch. The problem is, in that clash of styles there, with Gumiho's mech against Reynor's Zerg, the way Reynor likes to play Zerg just does not stack up well against that aggressive mech. Because mech units are more cost-effective usually, especially if they have the upgrades. Which kind of forces you a little bit as a Zerg to play with your cost-effective units, like Swarm Hosts and Vipers. But he didn't really seem to be angling from that earlier. But first off, thank you guys. And for everyone, Trilobite45 for the sub, Epic Story Guy as well, B Lightning for 5 months, Lucy Diamonds for that sub, Cranes for joining us, Ping Vane for 32 months, G4 Veterans for $3, Huge Erection, not spelled how you'd think, but spelled close enough, for $2, Farrell for removing Ed Sheeran, got Mega Milk for 2 months, Farrell, we might actually play that now, Umeka for 12 months, What Mania 505 for 17, Coach K 89 for 30 months, D Hef for joining us, Z Manalet, Close, It's Only Fat, Chippa 123, thanks so, okay, I think we got him, I was rooting for Reynor at the end, by the way.
Good.
Could you tell?
Attention.
I kind of wanted Reynor to win. Was I biased? But, okay, real quick, guys.
Good.
So many people out tonight. Thank you, Lurnikins, Fluid Fennec, 39 months. Times are tough in StarCraft 2, so no, I'm not a huge fan of it, but we started running ads, and so if you guys could turn off ad block for a moment, that's how we make the dream work. We lobby to remove Terran, but real quick, be right back in just a moment. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the cast. Check out YouTube, all that. Hello, everyone. I'm back with a new deal. One that you've never even seen before. Did you know? With Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to a streamer of your choice for free. Or you could subscribe to me. And now, just this month or last month, I forget which month it was, you get the added benefit. Twitch Prime now allows ads. Before, you didn't get any ads, but now you get ads. Because fuck you, that's why. Twitch Prime, fuck you, subscribe to me. And by the way, your Twitch Prime money. It's very important. Because we need to lobby Blizzard to remove Terran. Get it out. Without it, we don't have the speech that we need to tell Blizzard Terran needs to be removed. Get Terran out. Call the number below.
Good. Now
Call it below.
your attention.
And then, subscribe with Twitch Prime. They're unrelated, by the way. And if you haven't yet, entirely unrelated as well. SC2ReplayStats.com is entirely free. There are some premium features you can use, but you can get all the base upload replays. Get good. Now, you might be like, but Winter, I don't want to do that because it seems like it would take 3 minutes of effort. And then I would have less excuses when I'm actually playing the game why I lost. I can no longer be like, well, I don't play enough and I don't know how to improve, so I only play 2 ladder games every 6 months and watch streams otherwise. No? Well, if you're not that person, SC2ReplayStats.com. Check it out. And don't forget that Twitch Prime.